up here a little. You staying though, right?
I might go back.
Oh, so you
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go hang out.
okay?
Yeah.
Because she's
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, good evening.
Good evening.
Truly, we thank you for taking time out of your schedules to come and be with us. You know, quite frankly, there are many other things you could have done or be doing, but you found it necessary to come and be a part of it. I'm going to call it a listening session on our part up here. But for you to express those needs and concerns that you have so that we can find a way of weaving that into what we're attempting to do at the state level. Now, let me first, for those who may not know who I am, State Representative Yusuf Hakeem. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to make a couple of other comments, but ask our colleague, Representative Johnny Shaw, if he would open us up with a word of prayer.
Let us pray. God our Father, we thank you today for the good graces of this wonderful day that you blessed us with. Thank you for traveling grace, not just for our caucus, but for all of those who are here with us. Now, God, we ask for perception. We ask that you open our minds and hearts, that what we say and what we discuss will not only be pleasing to the constituents, but it be in your will, and that your will be done. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. And God, we pray that you would return each citizen safely home as you brought us here. We pray our blessings upon our caucus, our chair, and upon all of the members. In Jesus' name we pray and ask it all. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Representative Shaw. I want to recognize, I see two members of the local legislative body, the county commission, Representative Beck and Representative Mackey. If you'd please stand so people know who you are. Are there any other elected officials that I may have overlooked? If so, I do apologize. Okay. And we have so many outstanding citizens who are here, who are active in the community. I don't want to get started on that. Yeah, I hear somebody saying that, you didn't call on me? So we're going to, thank you. So what we're going to do is afford my colleagues an opportunity to introduce themselves so that you'll know who's who from left to right. But if you would afford me a minute, where I might say that I believe we're all conscious of the fact that we are living in a critical time in America in particular. And I think about what we in Chattanooga, Hampton County has done in critical times. I think back to when we had the bus crash and children died in that school bus crash. And at the blood bank, there was a line around the building, around the block. People wanted to give of themselves for the children. In Upper East Tennessee, you know, we've had the floods and things of that nature. It seems to be that when there's a critical emergency or a critical need, as a people, we come together. And I'm asking that we give consideration, whatever label we might have, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Black, white, Hispanic, there are some things that are beyond the labels. What I mean by that, we're talking about health care, we're talking about Social Security and things of that nature. Those are things that across the board impact all of our communities. So with that, I'm going to stop and ask our chairman of the Tennessee Democratic Black Caucus, Mr. Jesse Chisholm, Representative Jesse Chisholm, if he would take over at this point. Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
One more time, how's everybody doing? Good. We are the Tennessee Black Caucus of State Legislators, and we are here today to share with you all, and more importantly, to listen to you all, because I was telling someone earlier that there's no monopoly on good ideas. So we need all of the good ideas that we can muster up during this summertime so that when we go back into session in January, we'll be armed with ammunition to be able to fight some of the things that's been ill in our communities. So that is why we're here today. We are really here to listen to you all. But before we go into that part, let me take care of a couple of house cleaning things. For everyone that did not get a chance to sign in, there are QR codes that's posted. I believe one right here. It's going to be posted around the room. Please scan the QR code to sign in, because what you're doing is you're making sure that you're on our list, so that when we have events like this one, as well as events in the future, you all will be aware of it ahead of time, so that you all can participate with a lot of the things that we have going on. So with that, we're going to go across the table. Yeah, so before we go into the introductions, I'm going to kick it back to Representative Hakeem.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Those of us, most of us know where we are at the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. And if you know that, you know we've come a long way as a body, as an institution of serving, bringing about knowledge and understanding of the history and heritage of this community. And leading that effort is Ms. Paula Wilkes. Paula, if you'd raise your hand, let us know who you are. And then there's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Eli. Mr. Eli, if you'd raise your hand, these are the two leaders of the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. And all, yes. Yes, Mr. Eli Cameron. Now, the people you see on the video and the voices and all that, and taking care of our facility here, the young man in the orange shirt back there, is very much involved. Please, let's give all of them a hand, if you would, please. And for your information, this event is being recorded. It's not being live streamed, so there will be an opportunity for those who are not here to view what is being said and what is being done. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, everybody. When Representative Hakeem has a request, you make sure you honor their request. So thank you, Representative Hakeem, for all of the work that you've done with putting this together, along with all of the names that you just mentioned. But with that, we're going to start to my left, you all's right. Each member is going to introduce themselves, let you know where they're from, what committees they serve on, and a little bit about themselves.
Hope everyone's had a good day thus far. I am Sam McKenzie, State Representative, 15th District, which is part of Knox County, East Knoxville, downtown, University of Tennessee, South Knoxville, and then in and around Knoxville College at Mechanicsville, Lonsdale, Beaumont, for those who are familiar. I'm in my third term, so we'll start my 6th year in January. I'm the current Democratic whip of the House Democratic Party, and I'm the immediate past chairman of the Tennessee Black Caucus State Legislators. And I currently serve on the Education Committee, Government Operations, the Ethics Committee, and the Health Committee as well. And so, again, thank you all for coming out, and we'll have a great conversation today.
Thank you. I am State Representative Ronnie Glenn, and I represent District 67, which is Clarksville, Montgomery County. It's about 40 miles north of Nashville, also home of the 101st Airborne Air Assault. I serve on the Education Committee, as well as 2 additional subcommittees in education, transportation, and government ops. I am in my 2nd term, so my 3rd year. And I want to thank you all for coming out and just sharing your thoughts with us. So we look forward to hearing it. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just mentioned the committees that I'm a part of: Health Committee, Education, Ethics Committee, and we're just looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am State Senator Charlene Oliver. I represent the 19th Senate District. I was elected in 2022, so I'm still serving in my first term of a 4-year term. I serve on the Senate Energy and Agriculture Committee as well as the Senate Government Operations Committee, which is the only committee that meets all year round. I am, because of the way that the districts are drawn, I'm the only black senator that represents Nashville in the Senate. So I have the most diverse district in the state, large immigrant, Hispanic, African American population. So I speak up for a lot of different marginalized folks. Happy to be here. I also serve as vice chair of the Black Caucus and vice chair of the Senate Democrats.
Good evening. I am Johnny Shaw. I serve District 80 back in West Tennessee. That is all of Hardeman County, a portion of Haywood County where the Blue Oval Ford plant is being built and going to be producing Ford cars. I also serve a portion of Madison County that makes up District 80. I've served in the legislature for 25 years. I am the only rural Democrat left in the state of Tennessee, from the mountain down to the flat areas of Tennessee. I serve on Finance, Ways, and Means, the full committee. I serve on the subcommittee. I serve on Natural Resources, full and sub. I serve on Rules as well as Fiscal Review. Those are the committees that I'm serving on, and I am retiring after this term. Looking forward to going home, spending time with the family. I'll do it all over again. I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you this evening. Thank you.
So I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. So I'm State Representative Jesse Chisholm from Memphis, District 85. I have the most western district in the state of Tennessee. So I consider myself the last line of defense and first line of offense for the state of Tennessee, because my district is the state line from Tennessee to Mississippi. I am in my fourth term. I serve on Finance, Ways, and Means, Calendar and Rules, as well as state and local government. And I have the privilege of being the chair of the Tennessee Black Caucus, a caucus that has so much talent, that has so many superpowers, if you will. You know, everyone that's before you right now do something different. You know, it's kind of like the military. The Navy and the Air Force don't quite do the same thing, and neither does the Marines and the Army. But as a group, we have been quite a fighting force for people in the state of Tennessee. Because where goes black people in the state of Tennessee, there goes the whole state of Tennessee. So I just want to thank you all again for being here. So as we all know, there has been many issues that have that are kitchen table conversations. You know, because I believe everybody in here wants to have strong schools. We all want to put food on the table. We all want good health care. And we all want our community to be safe. And those are 4 pillars that the Black Caucus have tasked ourselves with, not only during my term, but the terms before me as well. Because we get those 4 things right, we can take this state a long way. And so we need you all's help with doing that. Because as you know, there's been so many issues like civil rights this past year, things coming down from the federal government all the way down to our local governments have been things that have hurt and helped our communities. Education, the dismantling of our public schools. You know, you have fighters up here who serve on education who've been fighting those things tooth and nail. We have economic and community development. We all know that a community that does not have resources is a community that's plagued with poverty, that's plagued with crime, that's plagued with all those other things. So we have people up here that fight really hard to make sure that economic development happens it not only happens in our communities, but it happens in a way that includes our communities. So, because we want to make sure that, you know, when groups and when companies, when organizations come into our community, they don't leave us out. And so many times that's happened. So we want to make sure that we're doing those things. And one of the key issues that's happened this year has been the dismantling of DE&I. You know, so yeah, we have so many of the legislators that have been trying to dial the clock back, if you will. You know, some of the same things that we were fighting in 1961 are the same things we're fighting now. You know, the same issues we had then are the same issues we're having now. So with that, that's why we are here. We are here primarily to hear from you. So as we have these conversations, I'm going to ask that each person that gives some words be as concise as possible, and each member who gives a response, we're going to also try to be as concise as possible, so that we can get as many comments in as possible, so we can hear as many needs as possible. So with that, our mic will be up front, and you all can form a line at the mic to be able to speak on it, and when we'll respond with y'all. And those of you all that cannot stand in the line, we'll have someone bring the mic to you. All right? Okay. So, yeah, so we need to turn this mic around. One of our staff will turn this mic around, and we'll go ahead and get started with our question, comment, and answers. Hold on, before we go, Representative Glenn, you had something you wanted to add real quick? No, go ahead. Okay.
Do I have to give my name?
Yes, please give us your name. Okay, yeah, please give us your name, and we'll go from there.
I got a comment and I got a question. I am from Memphis. I live in Chattanooga. My name is Samantha Rajapakse. Rajapakse, that's R-A-J-A-P-A-K-S-E. I am a firm Democrat. I've been an active voter since the age of 18. I am now almost 59. I'll be 60 in December. My concerns are more into health benefits, especially because of Social Security. As you know, the big beautiful bill is going to cut so many people off of Medicaid. But right now, the state of Tennessee has already decided to discriminate against black people who are fighting for disability or who are getting disability. My question to you is, first I got two questions. My question to you is, the midterm election is going to be the most important election of this year. How are you getting those undecided voters out, those black voters out, and the voters who voted for Trump that regret? That's my first question. My second question is how do we address when the governor right now is discriminating against black people who are trying to get disability or who are currently on disability? That is my question.
Members, you can chime in as you will.
I will start. Good questions. Thank you for those questions. First of all, I think as Democrats, we got to stop complaining about what's going on and start creating a plan for what we want to do. It's obvious, it's already obvious that Washington runs all the red states right now. Whatever Mr. Trump says, that's what's going to happen. I don't care what red state you live in. But what we ought to be doing is, now we've done an excellent job as getting people to register to vote, but we haven't done a good job of getting them to the polls. Now, one of the things that I'm doing in my area, in my district, I own and operate radio stations, and one of them reached the world, even here. I am running free ads about why it's important for you not only to be registered to vote, but to vote. And if you look at what's going on right now, you can see why you need to vote. This is the reason we've been telling you don't just register, but go to the polls and cast your vote. It is enough decent people in this United States to change this if we can get them to the polls. And so I think what we need is and I was talking to the young lady back there, we need a plan B, you know, and she made a very, very simple illustration that I think worked. If the weatherman says there's a 40% chance of rain, you take an umbrella. It may not rain, but you take it just in case. So what we need to be doing right now is, rather than complaining about what's going on, because it's already done happened and it's not going to stop, we need a plan B to start figuring out who we going to run, put some good people in office so that when they get there, they can change some of this stuff that's going on. That's what I think we ought to be doing. That's my opinion, and I hope that helped you.
Yeah. Thank you, Representative Shaw. Absolutely. And I'll probably say it a little different way, but hopefully it may resonate. There's no doubt in my mind, if we had an election today, all of the folks that supported Donald Trump would be thrown out of office. If we had it today, but we don't. We have another year and a few months. We as Democrats have been emotional voters, and we've got to get away from that to vote just because there is an opportunity to do what folks fought and died for us to do. My district in Knoxville, I'll do a comparison here, unfortunate comparison, compared to Farragut. So Farragut is maybe like the Ottawa area, and I'm in the inner city. 70,000 people. We all represent the same number of people. The district in the affluent part voted 3 times the raw numbers of people casting their ballots, 3 times what voted in my district. Think of the power of that. We could elect mayors with that number in Knoxville. So we have the power. We just got to get away from the emotional issue, and we got to vote because it's an opportunity for us to put people in that care about us. And that's going to get their attention. If the next election, if I double my numbers, now they've got issues. Now they're going to come to the table and have different conversations because they know they're under attack. So that's one thing. And then you asked about this governor. This governor will go down as one of the worst governors to ever serve the state of Tennessee. No doubt in my mind. He's been a pawn. He was only elected because the other 2 fought each other and people got sick of those ads. And he's really done nothing but try to bring this voucher. That was his whole thing. And so everything else he's done has just been kind of self-serving and to set him up for when he leaves office so Lee Enterprises can take over the state. I'd see their vans in Knoxville. So again, but this governor has not done anything. So, but we're in a position where the leading candidate's going to be somebody that might actually be worse than he is. So we've got to galvanize right now.
Thank you, Rep. McKenzie and Shaw. I'm going to take it from a different angle. One of the things that I notice about us as Democrats is we all vote. If you look around this room, everyone in here votes. Our problem is there are no young folks in here. We're not energizing young folks to go vote. How many of you know of high schools that actually bring someone in to register their seniors? There's a couple of them. I have a school in Montgomery County that actually brings someone in and registers seniors every year because we have to get them involved early. Our biggest problem is we're not energizing young folks. What's happening today? They were already planning this 15, 20 years ago. This is not something that arbitrarily happened yesterday. What's happening? We have to encourage young folks that what is happening today will affect them in 10 years, in 15 years. That's when they understand what we're talking about. Things that are happening now, they've been planning this for 10 and 15 years. That's why they have all the power. We have to start energizing young folks. We have to explain to them It's easy to just go up and tell them to go vote. That's not going to work. They have to know why it's important to vote. That the things today they will see again in 15 to 20 years, but it's too late. They already executed it. That's what we have to do, and that's where I am working to make sure that young folks, I want every one of my high schools in Clarksville, Montgomery County, to register seniors in their high schools, not once they get out.
We're ready for you.
Thank you. And don't get excited. This is double space and large. And, because I want to make my point, I want to support it, and I want to stay on focus. Okay? And thank you all for coming. This is something that's been on my mind. I am a retired educator from the classroom to administration. Okay? And I have a very grave concern. And my appeal is the appeal and the need to increase personal finance credits for state of Tennessee high school graduation requirements, okay? It is documented that financial illiteracy, okay, is at epidemic levels in our communities and our country at large. Even worse, finance is at the base cause of crime, health issues that we've heard about, family separation, and social and political manipulation. Even worse, a significant percent of one's real income, mine and yours, is wasted or lost due to consumer financial illiteracy. Total required credits, presently 22 for graduation. Since the 2 world language credits can be waived, I don't know if that's been finalized. Those of you who are on the education committee, you can speak to that in a few minutes. I know that's under consideration. Okay, if those 2 world language credits can be waived from the requirements for education, I am appealing for those 2 credits to be used to increase the 0.5, 1/2 credit. Listen now, think about our capitalistic country, our nation, the things that the White House, I won't call a name, is doing now, going around the world. His phrase is, I rule the world in relation to money, okay? I am appealing for those 2 credits to be used or moved over to increase the only half credits for personal finance to 2.5 credits for personal finance. And to me, that is a travesty that we're graduating children from high school who only need 1/2 credit. I may be wrong, correct me if I am. 0.5 credits of personal finance, years of ROTC may be substituted for 1/2 of those, okay? It was 1, but if they take ROTC and the ROTC teachers are part of that, they can only do or only need to do 1/2 credit for personal finance. Now here are the components of financial literacy versus illiteracy. Personal finance, short-term, mid-term, and long-term financial goals, market understanding, trading, investing, investment options, debt management, credit, spending, saving, budgeting, financial protection, assets and liabilities, borrowing, pre, during, and post-retiring planning. This gentleman seems to be getting ready to retire, and I'm quite sure he is well able to do that. Okay, but the average high school senior who's graduating knows nothing about planning for retirement or even being introduced to it. We're talking about real estate. If you look around the cities all over Tennessee, if you go to Georgia, everywhere you look, every block, if there is 1/2 inch of vacant property, you see all of these multiple apartment complexes going up. You want to think about who owns those and who is profiting from those, okay? Not every citizen is going to graduate from high school. However, the most recent data indicates that the overall U.S. high school graduation rate, the latest verifiable data from 21 to 22 school year, was 87%. That is significant enough to make a difference even with and in spite of significant racial and ethnic disparities. Asian Pacific Islander students had the highest rate of 94%. white 90%, Hispanic 83%, black 81%, and American Indian, Alaska Native 74%. What is the impact if we're able to do that and if you will consider it? Much of local, and you know this because some of you are dealing with fiscal responsibility as well as education. I heard when you spoke a few minutes ago. Much of local, state, and federal government subsidizing of basic family financial needs is due to financial illiteracy. People not knowing how to make the best of the monies that they make or is assigned to them or given to them. The politically and financially empowered thrive on and make their greatest profit from their investments in we talk about institutional racism. How about institutional financial illiteracy? Okay? Their marketing targets, listen, is the life functional survival needs and desperations of the financial illiterate population.
How long before you go to the second page?
Yeah, I'm at the end of it.
Let me do this.
I'm at the end of it.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm at the end of it. We talk about taking language. The international language may not be French, it may not be English, it may not be Spanish. It's music and money. It's music and money. And so, again, they may learn Spanish, they may learn French, but I go in stores every day. And if I ask a question to a certain person, they'll say, me no speak English, but if I don't give them the right kind of money, they know how to speak money. So if you will, please consider transferring those 2 credits to increase the amount of credits that our young people are required to have at least when they graduate from high school.
Thank you for that. Representative Parkinson, before you address that, introduce yourself to everybody. Let us know who you are.
Thank you. I'm State Representative Antonio Parkinson, and I'm the shy one up here out of the bunch. I represent District 98 out of Memphis, North Memphis, Cordova area. So I'm happy to be here. It's good to see everybody. Can I address that?
Yeah.
Okay. So where did she go? Okay. I want to address this, the financial literacy piece. And I want you to think about it. I'm going to address it with a question, and then I'm going to give a quick solution. The question is, and to everyone in here, why would the ruling class educate you to the level of the ruling class? They're not going to do that. That's why we don't have financial literacy and those things in our class, for our children. Now, the solution to that is we have to educate our own. And we have to take it upon ourselves and the responsibility upon ourselves to make sure that our children and our family, our communities are financially literate. And I don't know if y'all know, but do y'all realize that in the banking industry, there is an assignment, a credit level assignment for your whole community? Did you know that some of y'all that are not in finance? Yes. So depending on what community you live in, there is an average credit or expectancy of your credit performance or your financial performance for the zip code that you live in. And if you notice, the banks that are in those zip codes, they do a lot of the fees for non-sufficient funds, this, that, and other, and they make a lot of money off of that. And you have a lot of check cashing places in those communities. That's the formula. But it's our job. We cannot wait on the cavalry. The cavalry is not coming. I promise you, they're not coming. It is our job to make sure our children are financially literate. Last thing I want to say is this. Voting is important. Let me be clear. Voting is important. I couldn't be in the seat without votes. However, Asians are second to the bottom in voter turnout and voting, but they're third in economics. Just let that marinate. Second to the bottom in voting, they don't vote, but they spend their money in their own communities over and over and over again. And I'll let that rest right there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Shaw.
Well, that young lady cooked the best soup I've tasted in a long time. Man, she put a whole lot of stuff in that soup. But I think the question still on the table is this, is what she want done, but I'm gonna make it brief. You need to realize in Nashville, in the House, there are 73 members Republicans and 23 Democrats. What you want done is great, but we can't do it till we get some more folk on our side. So I'm gonna go back to the fact that's why we need to pick some good candidates, make sure we get people out to get them elected. That's how we get done what you are, and you're right, you're 100% right. That's how we get it done. We can't get it done with the group you see he's sitting up here at this table. We don't have enough help. I'm through.
Representative Glenn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You are absolutely correct when you talk about financial literacy. Every year I have firework tents, the TNT firework tents, and I hire teenagers to come work for me for the summers, the way they make money. I did not realize until last year that teenagers today do not know how to count change. I was illiterate to what was going on in society. I really was. They do not know how to count change. And I was dumbfounded to find that out. So what I did was, when the first question I ask now when they come in is, do you know how to count change? Number one, you're affecting my money. Number two, I need to know, because I want to teach you how to count change. I don't want to just send you on your way. It is important, as Representative Parkinson said, that we take the time to ask teenagers when we go somewhere, in the stores or whatever, do you know, are you sure you counted that right? And if they don't, let's take the time to show them, because they're not learning it in school. We've inundated school with things that's not important. And Representative Shaw is correct. You know, it is a tough task for us as Democrats to enter those kind of policies when you have a supermajority that does not want to listen. Now, not all of them are like that. There are some who actually want this. Believe me, what you see on TV is not every last one of them. But the majority of them do not want to hear that, because it doesn't fit the narrative that they have. So we have got to change the dynamics of what's in Nashville.
All right, let me do this. You come forward, then we'll go, the young lady up front, then we'll proceed back to the back. But yeah, members, let's keep our answers short, and we're on you.
How y'all doing today? My name is Marquise Tate, by way of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and I've been living in Chattanooga for the last 13 years now. I moved here as a college freshman, and I've pretty much spent my 20s growing up in the community, literally right down the street on campus. And I've witnessed so much change happen in Chattanooga over such a short period of time. And one of the running jokes we used to have on campus, just as a younger black man with my friend group, was, we don't see ourselves in this community except for the homeless people on the street. And as I got older, I tried to seek black leadership. I tried to seek community leaders that were reflective of where I wanted to see myself in the future. And often it led me to no avail. Now, I had a decade's worth of willpower to kind of weather the storm and eventually find my tribe of people I can go to for leadership and some more understanding of my value here. But as I talk to the younger generation and the generations in between mine and where you guys currently sit, a lot of people don't have hope. And I know that's something that y'all can't necessarily take on as a burden, but when you guys talk about voter turnouts and getting people out to the polls to exercise their rights, I currently work as a community organizer for TDN and United by Change. So it's one of my efforts now to figure out how do we mobilize not only just the Chattanooga community, but more specifically folks that look like myself, to get out and actually participate and be more politically inclined and civically engaged. Now, in our silos and our personal conversations, as I try to aggregate all the information I'm getting from all my friends and the people around me, it's a lot of distrust, it's a lot of misinformation, and I'm not sure if it's a byproduct of just poor journalism or too much gatekeeping from our elders, not passing on the information from generation to generation. But based on where you guys currently exist in the ecosystem of Tennessee changing so rapidly and us getting all this outside influence, as Black leaders in today's time, how would y'all like to see the political leadership in regards to transparency and accountability change? Because it's not that my people don't want to show up, we don't think we're valued in this space. And from my generation to where you guys sit, I don't see a lot of people in my mom's age range here. So I think the lack thereof of so much time in between is why it's such a contentious relationship now between where we are and where y'all are. But we want to do the work. We just don't know how to access or how to like reach out and ask the right questions. But I know it's people out here who want to like effectively walk side by side with y'all and get the ball rolling. I'm one of those people as well as some of my other friends in the room. But as a group of Black leaders, what does the future of y'all's position look like for the ones who may want to take up the mantle and continue doing the work?
I'll start. No.
Rep. Glenn.
No. So that's a very good question and very good lead up to that question. I would say that I think us doing things like we're doing now, which is traveling the state and actually bringing folks together in a room to let you know that, hey, we are listening and we want the same. I think sometimes what happens is we're not grabbing the right people to bring with us. You see what I'm saying? So if we would have said, hey, when you come to this town hall, bring somebody with you, then this room would be standing room only. And then those folks would hear us talk about voters. They would hear us talk about financial literacy. They would hear us talk about the other education as we continue this conversation. I think we have to get to the point to where we're not afraid to bring someone with us and say, hey, I'm going to this meeting, come on and go with me. Because yes, it's easy to watch CNN, Fox News. I tell people to turn it off personally because it's no longer any good. It used to be. But you have to be willing to do the research yourself and understand that CNN, Fox, all of them have a political lean, regardless. Which one you listen to, there's a political lean to it. But if you listen and you read, you'll find the truth. But you have to be willing to find it and not just let someone tell it to you. That's where we have to get folks away from the TVs and all that and into a room like this to talk with people who actually are on the ground and seeing it every day.
Go ahead, Representative Hakeem. Then we'll go.
Thank you. Thank you for your question and just being here and being brave enough to state what you said. I feel you 100% on that. I don't know if there's an easy answer to what you're looking for, but as it says, charity starts at home and spreads abroad. And so what we have to do is look at our own families and what are we doing to educate our own? How are we bringing our grandkids and our children to these meetings? We got to model the civic engagement that we already know. Take your family to vote with you. Bring them to these meetings. Bring them to the protests. I have 3 children. I bring them to things like this all the time. When it comes to engaging young people, I can only speak for myself. I started when I got elected the Oliver Fellows program so that I could show and model and bring students into my district and show them what I do every day. I pay them a stipend and they work as a paid fellow for me throughout the year. And so that's one way that we can pay it forward. My other thought about this, and I say this all the time, dying in office is not a succession plan. And as Democrats, we love seniority, but we don't reach back. We do too much gatekeeping. And we got young brothers like this hungry to serve. We got to move out our own way to give him a shot. And so that to me is one of the biggest things we need to change. Literacy, media literacy, yes, turn the TV off, but pay attention to the news. I know that's contradictory, but find those independent sources that will just give you the news. I've started watching BBC News because American news is too biased on our stuff. So it's gonna take doing stuff like this more often. Have family dinners. Let's start getting back to having people over and talking about the taboo stuff like politics. But it's right now in this moment that we're in with Trump, you know, he wants us to feel isolated and lose hope, but hope comes from community care. And again, it starts at home. Invite some people over for dinner. How many of us know our neighbors in our neighborhood? Just model the behavior we want to see.
Thank y'all so much.
So, thank you. So I'm sorry.
No, Mackenzie, then Shaw.
All right, so everything said is correct. I'm gonna talk about the other side of that because it has to be a dialogue. So the other side of that, I look at my frat brother Fred Masson out there, who's been in the fraternity almost 60 years. A lot of it is dialogue, not monologue, and that's a two-way street. So oftentimes in conversations, people want that elevator speech. I want you to agree with me in the next 5 minutes. This is the process. I tell folks in my district, because I'm trying to make sure that we got younger folks there. But I said, your first public service job can't be a paying gig. You got to volunteer. You got to figure out what this committee looks like to get a piece of the puzzle, and move on. Because at the end of the day, people are going to vote to people that they know and that they trust and that they've seen evidence of. So a lot of that is a dialogue. And the second thing I'll say is we can't agree on everything. So young or old, if you're having a conversation, if you're agreeing on 80%, let that 20% go. I'm mad at him because he didn't do this. He voted this way on this one bill. 99 other bills we're in lockstep. But we let that one bill or that one situation say that, and it spreads and it splits us up amongst ages, amongst races, and within our party. So we have to make sure that we understand that this is a big tent party and that we're not going to agree on everything. But at the end of the day, we got some garbage up in White House and in the National House. We've got to do those jobs, and so I think once we start with that from a age demographic, I think we're going to have deeper conversations, longer conversations, and a better understanding that I don't agree with you on this, young brother or old brother, or young sister or old sister, but let's talk about what we agree on. And I'll let Rep. Shaw, and then I'm going to walk down.
Well, I want to be brief because I know other people got questions, but I'm a legislator and I'm also a pastor. Every Sunday in our church, we have a political corner, and we ask people to volunteer to help with my campaign and other things. Now, what I hear from people like you is you want to be involved, but you never show up. What I'm going to say to you is stop talking and get involved. You see, you can stand up here and ask us what's our thoughts about this all year long, but when are you going to stop talking and get involved? Unless young people are different in West Tennessee than they are up here, all I get is talk. I don't get no involvement because the door been open for 20 years and they ain't walked in yet. So what I would suggest you do is not only ask the question, but walk in the door.
Okay, real quick. Leader Camper, you just walked in. Before we go to our next question real quick, please introduce yourself real quick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. I'm State Representative Karen Camper from Memphis, Tennessee. My district is District 87. If you've been to the airport or around Graceland, you've been in my district. I've been serving for 18 years, I think now, close to 18 years, and I serve as the House Democratic Leader. It's an honor to be here, and I look forward to hearing from you all.
Thank you, Leader Camper. Young lady, we are ready for you.
All right.
Oh, by the way, hold on real quick. Members, I as I can see, we all are really passionate about answering the question, so let's do this. Let's get no more than 2 members to address each question going the rest of the way. All right.
Okay, my name is Dr. Evelina Holmes, and I would really like to congratulate Senator Oliver, who I was in contact with when she initially started running, and I'm just so proud of her. The young man that just got through talking, those are the voices that we need to hear. I am the founder of the Hamilton County Voter Coalition, and we have 3 components of focus group. We have voter education, voter participation, and voter registration. Voter participation and voter education has improved. We started this organization because there was very poor turnout in Hamilton County, still the case. Voter education is a problem. You know, I did not know that they had stopped teaching civics in school. And I would like for somebody, maybe you all, to put together a curriculum on civics. Then I would like for our community centers to teach the course, because it's not going to be taught in school. There's a model program called Saturday University out of Chicago. And what they do, they teach at the centers what's not taught in the schools. And I also would like to have more young people involved. We need to move out of the way. They need to know why they need to vote. We're doing a fantastic job, the League of Women Voters in high schools, registering people to vote. We're doing a fantastic job in trying to get people to the poll to vote, but they have to be motivated to get to the poll to vote. And the only way you're going to motivate them is to educate them. So if you all can put together a curriculum, or suggest a curriculum that can be put together, because it's not going to be done here in Chattanooga unless it's done by one of the political science departments or something like that. But I would like to know more about voter education, because that's the only way you're going to get them to the poll. The only way you're going to get them to register is to educate them.
All right. Representative King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. Thank you, Dr. Holmes. Something I did 25 years ago was started something called Chattanooga Youth Council. And what we attempted to do was to involve young people, and had a graduating class of young people who wanted to get involved and so forth. But present elected officials at that time didn't like the idea. You want me to develop somebody to replace me? So what you're saying here today, the people are speaking. It is time that we do, if not the youth council, where we have leaders from all levels of government to come in, talk, and train young people, or even just those who want to be involved in the process. I think you all are giving us the okay to go ahead and try to revive that in a way that people from all walks of life and ages can be involved in that kind of development. Thank you.
Ma'am, floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Nikki Lake. I am I'm born and raised in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I am working on opening a community-owned grocery store. And one of our biggest issues has been the legal business structure of a cooperative, which is the grocery cooperative is not allowed in Tennessee, far as I know. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure what I can do as a citizen to make that change so we can have more cooperative grocery stores in the state.
Okay, so I'll take this for myself. So I was formerly in the grocery business in another life. That particular business, of course, is extremely hard to get into now because you have to have a certain amount of money sitting in a bank, and you have to have that line of credit with the food suppliers now as well, and that number is astronomical. So to actually achieve that now, in my opinion, is to have a relationship with local farmers in order to have a small community grocery co-op, as you spoke of.
Yeah, we already have it.
Okay, good. So first of all, thank you for the courage to go into that industry, because as we know, the overhead and the percentages in grocery is that the expenses are higher than they've ever been, because you have the big companies who have in a lot of ways monopolize a lot of things. So get with me after this, and I give you my card so we can so I can get some research done for you. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Woods. I am a Hamilton County transplant from Nashville, Tennessee. I have been watching Tennessee politics since I was the age of 6. I am now 68 years old. I have been working in the Democratic Party. I started my teeth at 16 years old when Jake Butcher ran for governor. I am very disappointed. I watch C-SPAN, I watch you on TV, I watch you on the local television stations. I have spent my days at Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated on Capitol Hill. I have written speaking points for you all. I have done research for you all. I have researched topics myself. Let me tell you what the disappointment, 2 issues of disappointment really are. I stood back here and I listened to this young man, and I work with young people in Chattanooga who are interested in becoming engaged in the political process. And we hear the same answers all the time. You need to turn out. But how can they turn out when every time they bring something to you that's exciting, that's motivating, that will get the young people engaged, you turn them away? The same thing happened to me when I was 16 years old. So you don't sit here and tell them that they've got to volunteer when they don't know where they can volunteer. Don't tell them that they got to come around, and the only time we see you in the community when it's election time. I'm being for real. Now, I went to the Democratic convention. I was elected. I paid for it myself. These young people don't know how expensive it is. So let's talk about some training. And that's not our responsibility. That's your responsibility to help us train us. Because whether you want to admit it or not, you represent us. But there's got to be a dialogue. There are people out here who call you and never get a phone call back. There are times that I have emailed you collectively since 1994 when I was on the Tennessee Education Association Board of Directors as Black classroom teacher. Camper, you're the only person that ever responded to me. Think about what I'm telling you. Hakeem, we talk on a regular basis. You know me from way back. What about the rest of y'all? What about the rest of you? Senator Love, I grew up in your neighborhood. Your daddy represented me when I lived at 1825 16th Avenue North. So I'm related. I'm invested. I'm engaged. Don't turn these young people away by giving them baked up answers. Give them some action that they can follow through. Now, on my second issue, and this ain't something that I intended to say. I'm a preacher. God put this on my heart. So let me put you what my real issue is. Let's talk about transparency, because there's a lot of things happening to us in the Black community that we don't know about. And if they're not like I am and stay on the internet because I'm retired, well, they don't know. They don't know. We don't know about the increase of suicides in our population. We don't know about the decrease in rural hospitals and how it's impacting our prenatal health care. We don't know about what's going on in Capitol Hill up there in Nashville that's going to lead to killing us. So help us, even if it means putting out a quarterly newsletter to your constituents to let them know what's going on. Thank you. That's my challenge to you.
Yes. Representative Caucus.
I want to respond to that. She's not talking about my district because I'm out all the time. I educate people all the time. Now, I'm not going to answer an email from Chattanooga when I got an email answer from West Tennessee. I want you to get that straight. But in terms of being out in the district and showing up when I need to show up, I do that every week. So I'm not going to sit here and be insulted by someone who say, no, ma'am. No, you wait. You talking about Chattanooga. You ain't talking about West Tennessee.
No. I'm talking about the entire Black Caucus.
Just a second, everybody.
No, but I want to be straight. I represent my district. And I'm not going to sit here and let anybody tell me that I don't represent my district wholly, openly, and give people an opportunity to respond.
Representative Shaw. Hold on. Wait. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody.
Do I have a chance to address that?
Hold on. Matter of fact, let me do this. Because we have a long line behind you. I really do want to hear what they have to say. So members, even though you are passionate about what we're talking about today, members, let's make sure that we tranquilize ourselves as much as possible. So that, all right?
You ready for me, Mr. Chair?
Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to have Representative Parkinson. You're going to address what she just said, and then we'll go Representative Glenn, then we'll go to the young man right behind you.
All right.
Okay.
Wait. As a 69-year-old woman, I deserve her answer, though.
Okay. Well, I did want to answer you, but okay. Thank you, leader. And ma'am, thank you for your comments. Let me say that first. Young people. Now, we're all different legislators up here, but all of us didn't get a chance to respond to the young brother. And, we all have different styles, right? We're all different ages. We all come from different backgrounds. Our districts look different. As for me and my district, we wholeheartedly support and encourage young folks to get involved. We've elected several. We've ran the campaigns of several young individuals that never had name recognition in politics. All they were doing was serving in our communities. And that's our formula. That's what we're looking for. Serve first, and then we'll draft you to run for office. And that's what we did with our folks. And now we got 2 of them sitting on the city council, 1 sitting on the county commission, 1 sitting in the school board. We got a whole family up there. And so that's what we do. The other thing is this too, and I think this is vitally important to know. We got to meet these young folks where they are. The opportunity. Go ahead, you the clap starter, ma'am. Go ahead, you can start that clap. Thank you, with the smile. Thank you. I intentionally bring interns into my district office every single year, right? And we run a podcast. They love being involved in the podcast. We are social media influencers and experts. We let them handle it. We got to meet them where they are. And the last thing is this. We have to speak to and ask them what matters to them so that we can find out, because there is an age disconnect. There's an age disconnect. And if you're not speaking the language that they speak, or not learning the language that they speak, there's going to continue to be a disconnect. And so I think that's vitally important. But all districts are not the same. All elected officials are not the same. Everybody does things their way in their districts. And so I think that's important. That's what matters. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Glenn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me try to bring the temperature down just a little bit. Just a little bit. I know the young lane's cap. Ain't that a word in there, cap or something like that? Yeah, that okay,
You just make yourself sound real
I
hard.
know, right? So this is what I would say, and ma'am, thank you so much for your comment, because it is true. A lot of what you said is true. However, with that being said, I will say this. When that young man finished speaking just a second ago, I called him up and handed him my card. And I said, when this is over, I want you to call me, because I want you to bring a group of young men to the Capitol to see the work that we're doing, because it energizes them. My thing is, I think when we talk about us here as legislators, many of us are in our first, second, maybe third term. We're beginning to do things a little different than maybe that was done 15 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. Was there a Black Caucus tour 10 years ago? Maybe 5 years ago. These are the things that we're doing different to try to get you all involved, to see what we're doing. We want you all to tell us what we're doing wrong. And if you email us, 99% of us respond. We do. I do, and I know all my colleagues do. Now, I may send it to Rep. Akeem based on where it's from, because he's going to know his constituent, his district better than me. But it doesn't mean that I won't help. Just like the young man down there, I have no problem with helping him. He calls me and he says, hey, Representative Glenn, I want to bring a group of men up to visit the Capitol. We're going to plan that. Because that's what we do. And again, 10 years ago, it may have been different. But what I ask you to do is just give us this new crop of politicians, legislators, an opportunity to help, to show you that we do care. And we want to do it. Thank you.
All right. We have another colleague that just walked in, Representative Love. Give us an introduction and a word, then we go to the young man right here.
Thanks so very much, Mr. Chairman. Harold Love, State Representative, House District 58, and I apologize for my lateness. I was late leaving Nashville, but I did want to address part of the concerns about us being more visible. Last year, we restarted the Black Caucus Retreat that used to happen every year across the state, and it was actually one of the ways that young adults could come through the process of being close to legislators and also department heads. And so we're having our second retreat this year. I think it's going to be in the fall. So I would encourage you to look out for that. And it's a way we're trying to make sure that we have more opportunities to stay in contact with the community collectively so that you can have conversation with legislators outside of the time we're in session. Just want to make you aware of that.
All right, thank you for that. We're going to do the time. We're going to cut the line off where it is now. So the young lady, at the end, will you raise your hand real quick? Okay, and we'll end with you. So sir, the floor is yours.
I'm Corey Hall. I'm from the community, Chattanooga completely. If any, what are some of the things current members have in progress regarding succession plans? And are there mentorships available for Democratic members for future elected officials?
Okay, well, I'll start this one off. As Representative Love alluded to, this fall, and I was going to say it in my announcement, but your question kind of springboarded. In November 8th, we are going to have our second Black Caucus Summit. And what we're going to do there is we're going to tell people about the civic process, how to navigate through it, what elected official is under what jurisdiction, and how everybody can navigate through how the system works. So again, make sure you scan the QR code so that we can keep you all abreast of the updates that are coming to those, so that we can have all of us on the same page. So thank you for your question. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Kanika Jones. I'm the new chair of the Hamilton County Black Caucus. Yes. Ran under the Democratic Party. And Miss Waynetta Dowdell is the co-chair. Yes. And she's also my advisor because it's important to learn from the people who came before us. So I want to say to the young lady who spoke about not being visible and present, and also the young men, that I'm new to this position. I didn't grow up in politics, but I have a lot of private sector experience. I've served on a lot of boards around in Chattanooga. So I want you to know, like the young people say, I'm outside and I'm mobilizing and I'm engaging. I have social media platforms. We've been doing events all around the city. So we're there. It's not hard to find us. So if you want to talk after this, we can definitely talk. I also want to make mention that we have the president, the president of the Young Democrats here in Hamilton County. Would you stand up? So I want to introduce these two young men. The president of the Democratic Party for Young Dems is in the building if you guys want to get together and talk so you'll know what's going on in that space as well. So my question is, in a time where visibility does not always equal power, what strategies have you found most effective in turning representation into real policy for Black Tennesseans, and how can local caucuses like ours strengthen that pipeline from grassroots to the State House?
Ask it one more time, if you don't mind.
Ask that one more time.
Okay. In a time where visibility does not always equal power, what strategies have you found most effective in turning representation for real policy wins for us, for Black Tennesseans? And the second part was, how can local caucuses like ours build a pipeline to get people from the grassroots level up to the State House?
Representative Love.
Thank you. I think one of the challenges we have is, and on the House side, we have a bill limit. We're limited to 15 bills, so we have to be very selective about what bills we run. I have found success in running legislation that's going to benefit African American community by running it as a bill that benefits the larger community as well. Give an example. We had a bill to improve access to sickle cell. And although we know that African Americans are affected more by it, everyone's affected by it. And so we did not run it as a Black bill. We ran it as a health care bill to affect health care for all persons. And that piece of legislation actually got picked up and passed by 31 other states. And so sometimes the strategy is to not announce that it's going to help just one segment, but knowing that it's going to, because there are particular instances where African Americans are disproportionately affected by health, by environment, by unemployment. But even though we're the Black Caucus, just keep in mind also, many of us represent everybody, right? My district is 60% African American. And so I represent all the constituencies in that district. I represent those who didn't vote for me because I still got to go and make policy for them as well.
Parkinson, the Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, in the environment that we're in a super minority, I think, what's the numbers? What is it, 75-24 on the House side, Right. And, you know, in an environment that we're in like that, you know, relationships matter. Where'd she go? Okay, I like, relationships matter, right? And you know, up there, it's almost making a choice as to whether you want to be an activist or whether you want to get legislation done. But there's a hybrid space in there too, where you know you can do a little bit of both. But you can't, as Democrats up there, we can't pass gas in the hall without the Republicans signing off on it. Seriously. And so when you're thinking strategically, how are you going to pass legislation or policy that will have a positive impact on your people and your community? You have to think, okay, where are the relationships? How can I garner support and to help push this through, and not just on the House side where there are 99 dysfunctional folks, but we also got to get it through on the senator side too, and hope that and pray and help make that, create that lift so that it can pass on that side so that it can actually become law. And so those are the things that we have to consider as we are trying to bring things that, and language, trying to bring things that will positively affect our communities. Thank you.
Okay, real fast to address your question. 2 examples I'll give you for myself. I champion a lot of working families and affordability. So I do a lot of child care legislation, and I also do the grocery tax bill with Representative Afton Bain to eliminate the grocery tax. A lot of us up here have been for years trying to eliminate the grocery tax. I come from organizing. I founded the Equity Alliance, so I use a lot of strategies around grassroots to elevate the conversation around the issues. So what I'm proud of is that with the grocery tax bill, even though we have not eliminated the tax yet, we have been able to sort of put Republicans in the corner to respond to what we've been doing across the state, because it's a popular piece of legislation. People want that grocery tax bill to come down. And by us introducing that legislation year over year, they're now putting forth their own bills to now have to respond to their own constituents on why you're not eliminating the grocery tax. So being able to now sort of maneuver from the minority to put the priority in front of them is a success. The second example is around child care. I ran about 11 bills in the last 2 years. One of those bills, they didn't want to push it out of committee, that would have raised the threshold so more families could qualify for the child care assistance program that the state has. Well, this year, the governor put it in his budget. $6 million recurring is now going into that program because of my bill. I took credit for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take credit all day long for that. So more families now can access child care resources.
Thank you for that. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. My name is Mrs. Christy Rashid. I am the Vice President of the Jamal Memorial Scholarship Fund. Our son today has been deceased 31 years because of gun violence. I applaud you all for passing that, the Glock switch law. I applaud you all. But there's no law that would have protected our child because he was shot by a gunshot. So I want to know, is there something on your plate that you're dealing with gun violence because it's an epidemic? And Tennessee is ranked 10th in gun laws. That's sad. I don't want another parent to continue to feel the way we feel. We had an incident here in Chattanooga at Tyner High School, still stating we're looking for the young person. It is sad that we have to live in fear of our lives because of lackluster gun laws. I think it's time for us to challenge the gun producers here in Tennessee. People do not realize how impactful they are. But it's time for us to speak up as people because it happened to us. Our child wasn't a negative person. He was a positive person. He was a leader in our community. But it doesn't have any eyes. Bullets didn't have eyes. The 6 people that were shot up at Tyner, those children weren't doing anything but having fun. But I think it's time for us as legislators, as leaders, to implement laws that can protect all. And then there are consequences behind it. Because what we got, we didn't get justice, we got law. And that's the sad part about it. So a lot of people calling now our home today because they know what today is and they knew who Jamal was. I would never, ever be quiet because I know what we produced. My husband and I produced a productive citizen that was taken of jealousy because of senseless gun laws. And I think it's time for us to make that change. I've been to the state. I've gotten proclamations from the state for the work I do. I've been mentoring young people over 45 years. And I have from doctors down. But I believe all our babies need love. And I think we need to hold the home accountable. the parents must be held accountable for their children's action, because what go on in your house, you got to know what's there. So if we have laws for the consequences, then things can change. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for those comments. I'll take this for myself. I believe each legislator up here has ran some type of legislation as it regards to gun violence, whether that be increased penalties, banning certain equipment that come with these firearms. The problem that we're having is the gun lobbyists are so powerful on the other side of the aisle. None of us get money from them. But on the other side of the aisle, they're funding their campaigns. So when those votes come down, just watch those votes sometime. You will see, and when you see those votes, look at their financial records. You'll see where their money came from. So until we're able to get some of their money out of the political arena, we have an uphill battle, but we're in the fight that we can win. So we have to continue to get the word out and make sure that we're fighting for our people instead of our gun lobbyists.
And I think too, very good, but I think too maybe we might make a little progress when we talk about gun safety versus gun violence. Sometimes what we say, because somebody put that idea out years ago where everybody wants to take guns away from people, which is not true. But maybe if we focus on gun safety, we may be able to do a little more than what we're doing, but certainly it is worth our effort for sure, because we represent people, and you're right, guns have no eyes. It doesn't matter who it is. They'll hurt you, and we don't want that to happen. I think each one of us got, about 70,000 constituents. And so we just can't pass legislation for blacks. We have to pass it for people. And hopefully that's what we can try to do. Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
He wasn't a person that say, hey, look, I only deal with African. He dealt with people.
Right.
And that's why our scholarship is open to people.
Yes, ma'am.
Not just African Americans.
Yes, ma'am.
And I speak for people.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, go ahead.
Let me do this. Let me do this real quick because we got 3 more. And our time is getting close here. So let me do Representative McKenzie, Representative Camper, and we'll go to the next person over here.
Thank you. So real quick, I mean, and thank you for those comments. I had 3 cousins that were at Tyner for their all Tyner class reunion that dealt with that. Because I tell folks I'm from Chattanooga. My mom and dad moved to Knoxville. But also at my alma mater, Austin East High School, with my first year, from January through the end of session, end of April, we had 6 kids get murdered from my high school. 6 from a high school of 600, extremely. So that was my entry, and as Chair Chisholm said, every year we introduce legislation to try to just some aspect, okay, it's not a total reform, but just some aspect to say, if somebody's in a mental health crisis, can we take their guns from them for a while, give it to a loved one? Can we try to say these type of guns might need additional training? Just try to pick at it, because as he said, millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars are going into their coffers each year, and they're scared. And by they, I mean the folks on the other side of the aisle to come out hard against it. But, so what I'll say to you is, one, my heart goes out, because I know that never ends, right? That hurt, and the things that you've done as a result of that are to be commended. But I know there's not a day that goes by without you, some aspect of his life pops back into your head. And I know that there's no replacing him. But thank you for what you're doing to at least shine a light on that. And we can use that to hopefully just change the trajectory a little bit. We had the Covenant shooting. Governor said he's going to do it. We all mustered and went to Nashville, and nothing happened. Not a darn thing happened because they're scared. And so we got to galvanize it. That's the question about publicity. When we're in a super minority, publicity sometimes is the only thing that we can do. We got to shame them in the press. So, oftentimes that's our weapon.
Leader Camper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your question and your passion and sharing your story with us. I agree with Shaw about changing the terminology. Instead of gun control, we gotta say gun safety, things like that. The Glock switch bill you're talking about, I think somebody mentioned earlier how they will jack your bill. That was my bill this year. And they asked me, would you put that down? We're gonna put it in our bill. Yes, just get the bill passed. So we also have to be open to just not caring who passed the bill, just get it done. Okay, so we don't, we get jacked, but it's okay if it becomes good public policy. The other thing that has happened with guns in this country is it's been politicized.
Yes.
I remember, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to try to be quick, but I have to tell this story. When Chairman Maggard was the caucus chairman for the Republican Party, part of her job was to bring on more Republicans. She brought on one of the largest classes, 14, if I'm not mistaken, came in under her leadership. That's when they got the real supermajority. We went from like a simple majority to a supermajority under her leadership. The next year, it was some good gun sense legislation. She supported. Guess what happened to her the next year?
Wow.
Out of there. Billboards all over everywhere with what? A picture of her, President Obama, and Nancy Pelosi saying, they're coming to get your guns. They spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to take her out, and they did. And it scared the rest of them, silenced them from that point on. So regardless of how much the governor wanted to do what he wanted to do, guess what? He couldn't get it done. And every year, the Democratic caucus, that's on our agenda. We're going to propose the legislation. Prayerfully, some of it will get jacked, if you will, and passed. It's not going to stop us from fighting, just like you, and I thank you for keep fighting. But I also challenge everyone, too, when these bills come up, to help us by coming up and testifying, because a lot of people do. They come up and they tell their story, and they make it real to these people. And maybe that'll help sway some of those that are like on the edge there to pull them over, or maybe thinking about retiring and they can go ahead and do it and get it done. So keep fighting, and we'll be fighting with you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry it took me so long to tell that story, but it has been politicized.
Hello.
Floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. I'm Dr. Belinda Moore, and I am with Shield of Faith Outreach Ministries. I don't know if you've seen that. I've been on the air for over 20 years. Shield of Faith Outreach Ministries. And I want to say thank you all for coming. I know that it has been the heat, the traffic, and all of that. You work, you're in travel status. I'm in travel status a lot. I've worked, DEI is not anything new. This complaint is the reason DEI exists today. Governor Bill Lee has had this 4 years and has held it in abeyance, as well as Lieutenant Governor McNally. He has had it about 4 years. They've held it in abeyance until the administration changed. Okay, so this complaint I filed because what we're not even talking before you guys came for this DEI, and this is what I'm going to talk about, DEI today. DEI, it has been in existence for years. It started out with the civil rights era, then it went into the EEOC, and then it became equal opportunity for small disadvantaged businesses, African Americans, white females, underserved community. And so this is an opportunity. It was EEOC opportunity. And the EEOC evolved and it became affirmative action. Whatever you called it, it evolved. Then it became the federal government decided they were going to do set-asides. That's when I got involved with TVA. That's when I came on board with Jerry Lewis and that group, Clarence Williams and Frank Robinson. I worked with them 15 years on Summit Hill Drive with their EEOC department, and I considered it an opportunity. It was a great opportunity because they were opening up that area for us to participate. And if you had a skill set, you can participate in the bidding process. So I've been bidding for a long time, and I've traveled with the 22 administrative law judges out of the Department of Personnel in Nashville. I've traveled the entire Valley. My business was chosen and awarded that contract. They had someone before me who didn't do their job. They had a backlog, so I ended up in it. And I was very appreciative of it. And I traveled from Memphis. And like someone said earlier, you had to be creative in what you were doing. And so I traveled from Memphis to Nashville to Knoxville to Johnson City, Tennessee, with 22 judges. And so I became creative and created a network. Okay, so now to make a long story short, this is the catalyst. You say, well, where did this come from? Why did it move so fast? Why did it get through as a bill and pass? Well, I have 6 copies of this because I wanted you guys to, you said, what can we do? Okay, and we're undermanned, okay, everybody's talking about you can declare a global prayer. You can do that. You can have a day of prayer. You can do a lot of things. There are things on the table you can do. But anyway, I ended up working, and I've also lost over $400,000 because this was set on. This, my business has lost over $400,000 because Bill Lee, like somebody just said, did nothing. Nothing was done. Okay, and McNally either. And I wanted to come up, but I wanted to get with Akeem, but somehow we could not make that connection and discuss it so that I could come up and speak on the floor. I wanted to speak on the floor. But anyway, I do appreciate your coming, and I do want to leave these with you, this complaint, because it needs to be moved upon. It needs to be dealt with. It needs to be settled. And I know the figure of $1.5 million. I was attacked after Governor Haslam appointed me to the 10th Judicial District. They had never seen a black in a position, and I was really blessed when the AOC called me and said, Belinda, do you want it? I said, what? Are you kidding? I was so honored to have it. Well, they'd never seen a black in a position, and I ended up being like a trailblazer in that district. I was attacked. I was assaulted. I stayed 6 years through it, though. I hung in there until finally, there were, I hate to say, attempted murders and things, and this is the complaint, what caused the DEI to happen. And I will say that, and I will say I did, as a result, write a book, and it's right now, it dropped this week, and I wrote a book about it so people can navigate hostile work environments. And so, this is what this is about, DEI. And so what happened, I want you to know, this book is at the True Vine Publishing Company, True Vine.
Okay.
Sure.
Leave that information with us.
Yes, and
Leader
thank
Love,
you.
he's coming from Brett.
And what I would say is, it was a capricious, arbitrary and capricious decision by the governor because it was arbitrary because, what has happened to all of America had nothing to do with, he didn't deal with them and hold them accountable. So he just said, let's just get rid of DEI. Right. That makes it arbitrary and capricious, and it should be repealed.
Okay, thank you so much. Floor is yours.
How are y'all doing? Good. My name is Bita Baroya-Vaji. I currently serve as the student body president for UTC, which is a school right around the corner. Thank you guys. I also serve as the Tennessee Young Democrats National Committee woman, so we just came back from our national convention. I work with Jeremiah, our president, as well, as the vice chair for Chattanooga Young Dems, and I wanted to speak as a first-generation Iranian American. I've talked to immigrants from almost every continent. The general consensus is that people, really immigrants specifically, are more scared than ever. With ICE raids and voucher programs, we don't know what is next. What advice do you have for the immigrant community and their allies as we move forward, and is there any way to prepare?
Thank you. First of all, thank you. Number one, thank you for being involved. Number two, thank you for being here. Number three, thank you for having the courage. Plan. Because we are, and I don't think I have to reiterate this, but we are in the most hateful regime, not administration, regime that
My mom came from Iran, so she came to escape it, and it's
Right.
just so sad to see it.
It is unbelievable. And you know, and honestly, I'm gonna say this. You know, you can try to run me off with rakes and pitchforks if you want to, but I hate the division between black and brown people, because it's them today, it's us tomorrow, and it's us today too. Because if you go down there to what, Alligator, Alcatraz, or wherever it is, it's Haitians, black and brown people, Latino people, and others that are in there, but no European undocumented immigrants. And so it is incumbent upon ourselves, just like I said earlier when it came to the financial literacy. We cannot sit back and keep fighting on our heels in a defensive posture. We have to become offensive minded and have a plan and have a strategy and execute that plan and strategy. Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much.
Floor is
Hey,
yours.
good to see y'all. Demetrius Coonrod, it's a great pleasure to see you. Camper, Oliver for sure, Glenn, and Parkinson most definitely. I love working with y'all, so Eddie, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I ain't gonna even be ugly today, cause I see, you know, the Hakeem grandson back there. I don't even want to get ushered out the building today, like they normally would try to do. But anyway, a lot of stuff has been said, great stuff, and I think Ms. Wood, she really hit it on the nose for me about a lot of stuff, and we're often asked why black people aren't coming to the Democrat Party. Well, we're not coming because we don't have an agenda that aligns with what black people believe in. And contrary to everybody's belief, like everybody's thought process isn't aligning with what the Democrat Party is championing right now. And when I say that, people get mad, you know, want to wave the flag to say, oh, well, she's not a Democrat. Now, transparently, I'm not heavily involved up under the Democrat Party, because what I've experienced up under the Democrat Party is heavy racism from the very people who say that they for us and they want to be about us and want to champion our things, but that's not what I've received. What I've also noticed is that if you're not the person that they want to champion behind, meaning that black person that they're going to continue to puppet, I can't be a puppet. So therefore, they're going to run a heavy campaign against me. You would think that it's always the other side that dress in red, and we call those people conservatives and also call those people the racists. But it's the totally opposite experience, not just from what I've experienced, but several black people have experienced it, right? I'm just the one that's not afraid to take a stand and say I've had enough of it, with the capital S-H-I-T, exclamation mark. But we've got to a place to where black people have come complacent and that we have to be a part of a political party and silo just with that, and they take our mindset and our independent of thought. And just because we're not actively involved in a party don't mean that we have to be, and we still can go to the ballot box and be a Democrat. We don't have to support the people that whoever is over the Democrat Party, national level, the state party, or local level, whoever they champion to put their money behind, because we know with those dollars, the people who are pushing those same initiatives that don't align with black people. None of them. And I know it's going to go silent in here, and they probably twiddling their toes, because I know election coming up next year, which it shouldn't matter, because if you hold true and stand on what you believe in, you're going to run anyway, regardless, because the goal should be to reach the people that you know, that's going to represent it when they elect you, right? Not just represent a certain group of people, right? Not just represent a certain group of people, you got to represent everybody. It don't matter if you white, it don't matter if you agree with that individual or not, right? It's been times that I done reached out to representatives and senators. We may not always agree, but guess what? We find a line on both sides, from the Republicans and Democrats. We find a line with Coonrod. What can we work at? What can we get accomplished together? And I wish I had that for my state representative that represent my area where I live at. However, that's not happening. And I'm going to end that just on that note, because my question is, kratom. If anybody has ever heard of kratom or not, but it's a plant-based substance, kratom. It's called kratom. It's a plant-based substance with opioid-like effects, often used for pain relief, anxiety, or even to self-treat addiction. Despite the serious health risk, it's legally sold over the counter in gas stations and convenience stores, especially in black and underserved neighborhoods. I get that we gotta make it about people, and I'm 100% for that. But I would love to work with one of you to make sure that this legislation get passed. A sponsor is what I'm seeking. I've spoken to the other side, but I would love to have a black face attached to it. Why? Because it's affecting our communities. It's affecting our people more so. And we don't talk about these things. But I would love for it to be a Schedule II drug so it can be monitored. Because anybody, kids, anybody, everybody is going to the gas station. They call it the black market for heroin at a gas station, and people can just walk in and you can get it like they buy cigarettes. You got kids outside that's underage asking adults to go in and make this purchase for them, right? So just think about how that's affecting not just their kid, but their whole entire household, right? People are overdosing on this, but we're not getting the data collected right because we automatically just gear it towards that it's heroin. So if you are interested with it, I love to work with you guys on it. If not, I'm cool with that too. Because just like you said, sometimes you got to go to the other side to get it done. But whoever passes it, pass it. And the other side, they very familiar too, because I tiptoe in their household just like I'm giving a praise dance. Because it's so many bills on both sides that we got to begin to work together to make sure that our community is good. And then two, I'll say this before I sit down. It's so many people within our Democrat Party that attack our brothers, Warren Mackey and Mr. Beck. This shouldn't be happening, right? We should get to a place where we should be able to work with each other. And another transparent moment. Yusuf Hakeem is my representative. However, we don't work together. We can't work together. We bypass each other like we're enemies. And none of this should be happening, but we sitting on this stage saying we want to work with the next generation. We want to do these things. We want to help our communities. But then when we get off these stages, that's just not happening, right? We got to make it right amongst our people because guess who's watching you all? All these people that's sitting in these seats. And it's not a ding for nobody, right? Nobody. I'm just saying we got to be better stewards for our people in order for us to want to even be involved or to come, right? And it's okay for us to not be a part of a party. And that doesn't take away from you being a Democrat. But if our issues don't start being the topic of conversations, black people are running away from the Democrat Party. They're not running to it. They're running away, just like everybody else, because there's not a space for black people. But again, I would love for you all to help me with this piece of legislation. Thank you.
Leader Love.
Yeah, thank you for your comments. I know that we have a huge problem with Kratom, and in some of those same gas stations, we have vaping products, and we have the advertisement of CBD products that we don't know what the ingredients are. They also have the paraphernalia for crack cocaine. They have the pipes, they have all of this stuff in there. And so we did pass legislation this past year to cramp down on illegal vaping products coming in. And so I think the next step would be dealing with Kratom, because what happens is they set up shop in our communities and they sell more illicit drugs than they do fresh fruits and vegetables. And you go in there and it's nothing you can get to eat, but they got all these drug paraphernalia. So I'd be willing to talk to you about that piece of legislation to see where it is. And do you already have it written up, or is someone already looking at it?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. We'll certainly talk about that.
Thank you. I can go.
All right, thank you so much. So,
I'm sorry.
Leader Campbell, go ahead.
Yeah. Earlier you made a statement and I wasn't clear and you kept talking. I was trying to get you to slow down. You said that there is hidden racism. What did you say when you...
Oh, the racism within the Democrat Party?
Yeah.
It's hidden, but it's so you can see it. Like it's plain.
So you said you did say hidden racism. I was just trying to understand
it's about the same as the Republican Party. It's no difference. It's in your face. But they expect black people to be quiet about it. And if we say something, oh, you're not in line, you're not agreeing. Listen, I stopped getting whoopings a long time ago. So I'm just saying, if we gonna call out Republicans, we gotta do the same within the party, because they shouldn't
I
be
get
treating
that.
us the way that they treat us.
I understand. I just want to understand what it was you were saying.
They're racist.
Well, let's just say this. We know that racism exists in this country. And we know that racism isn't tied to a party or anything like that. I mean, it's a person's heart, it's a person's mind, it's a person's experience. So regardless of where you go, it's going to be reflected based on our life here in America. So we can't say that there isn't racism in almost every walk of life that we deal with in this country, as far as black people are concerned. There is an opportunity, and this is what I think the Black Caucus have traditionally done, to be honest with you, and is doing with respect to the retreat, is putting together what would be considered a black agenda. I founded an organization called the Black Legislative Leaders Network, and it is comprised of all the blacks in leadership state houses across the country. We did field hearings across the country with the State of the People when they went about doing that, to hear what's happening in different other parts of the country. Are we experiencing some of the same things? And it's a black agenda, whether you are Republican, Independent, Democrat, whatever you are, so that we can look at what's affecting our community and fight for what's affecting our community. So party aside, I just didn't understand if you said hidden or heavy. I was just trying to get a distinction there, because sometimes you do have hidden racism and it comes out in a certain way, but if it's this heavy-handed racism, it's something else. I was trying to understand where you were coming from. But let's talk about, your issues and what you're saying, and there may be others in here that want to have that conversation. Secondly, I think years ago, Representative Goins had a Kratom bill that did pass, because at that time, everybody was, hey, Kratom is the next best thing, it's helping my back, and all of this kind of stuff, and the bill actually passed. Then we start seeing the effects of what Kratom is doing, which is what you're talking about. And I want to say Representative Hawk, I could be wrong, from Greene County, had a bill this year and has had a bill to try to deal with Kratom and pulling that back. But I remember Goins passing that bill. It was tough. He got it passed. A lot of us voted against it. But it's this whole free will thing that we're dealing with, people. Free enterprise, whatever. But I do think Hawk has that bill, and it could be, still, in session, because it's a 2-year. So we can look at what he has, couple it with what you're talking about, and see what we can do to try to attack this Kratom issue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, hold on just a second. We at the hard part of the program now, because I'm pretty sure that our conversation has sparked other questions and other comments. So what I'll do is come up, please, be very brief. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to go to each member to give 10-second final words. Give your 10-second final words, and Representative Hakeem, you give our announcement, and I give our close. So,
thank you so much for letting me speak. I am a little nervous, so pardon me if I get a little shaky. I am Lori Kyle. I'm a District 6 representative for the Hamilton County Democratic Party. I do work in behavioral health. I would please implore you to speak more about mental health in our communities. I'm reaching out to ask if you would consider speaking more openly and frequently about mental health and the impact it has on our communities. This is an issue that affects all of us, whether directly or through people we care about. I believe your voices can help break the stigma, raise awareness, and push for greater support and resources. When leaders like you speak up, it encourages others to do the same and helps make mental health a priority. I would love to see conversations, public statements, and actions around mental health in your work. It would mean a lot to know that this issue is being recognized and addressed at the level of leadership. I'm tired of losing my community members, at least one a week. So please, I implore you. Thank you for your time and for allowing me my question.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your comment. Members, starting with Leader Love, go ahead and give us your final word.
This is an update, Mr. Chairman, if I could, just for the young lady who asked about the Kratom bill. There actually was a resolution passed this past year House Joint Resolution 147 that dealt with issues of kratom. But my final words, Mr. Chairman, thank you all for coming out, and we are certainly pleased to have you out here. It does us well to have feedback from you so we can find out what is going on and what issues you want us to address. And so I'm going to pass the mic down to
Dole, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two things, Mr. Chairman. One, I want to say to the young lady that talked about ICE, I would say also know your rights. Have your people know and understand what your rights are. And really put a lot of pressure on your federal delegation. I mean, it's a federal issue, and that's where we got to really put a lot of pressure on folk at the federal level to make them understand what it means to us in our community and what's happening in this arena. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry I was late. I would have loved to have heard that question that so many people was trying to talk to about the young man. I don't see him anymore. But hopefully he's not gone. I can talk to him. We always appreciate hearing from you all. We always, appreciate coming to the community to hear what's on your mind, because I believe you all have the answers, and you all can help us with the solutions to the problems that we're dealing with. So don't feel no kind of way, if you're expressing yourself, you tell us, because we really do want to hear you. We want to understand where you are on the ground to help us make better policy as we go forward. So thank you again for being here. Appreciate it.
Mr. Chair. Okay. Thank you. Again, my name is State Representative Antonio Parkinson. I do want to really quickly address the young lady about the mental health. We are in a severe mental health crisis right now in the state of Tennessee. How many people know somebody directly related or close to them that is in severe mental health crisis right now? It's always almost about 90% of the people. And I had a piece of legislation that would allow us to request a waiver from CMS to expand Medicaid specifically for mental health only. So we're still working on it. So hopefully the governor will come around. Listen, my last 10 seconds, all I want to do is say, follow me. Follow me, follow me, follow me. At TN Rep Parkinson. At TN REP Parkinson. We put everything on all of our social media, every social media from Facebook to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. So follow me, and I promise you there's a lot of information. Last thing, there are going to be some bills that come out of this meeting. Your voice matters. When y'all were telling us about the things that were important to y'all, somebody up here is going to run legislation for it. I can guarantee you that. Thank you again.
I want to take my last 10 seconds to recognize two people. I want to recognize my executive assistant who's here, Allison Sneed, been with me about 24 years. And I will also want you all to know that sitting at this table, the first gentleman to my right is the president of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators. And that's Representative Hal Love, and I am proud to brag about him because he's in our caucus, and I think that's a great accomplishment. So this is our national president here with you today. Thank you all.
Thank you. I want to leave you with one little fact. In 2022, half of all the seats that are held by Republicans in the legislature went uncontested. If we want to get out of the mess that we are in, the pathway out of it is to run for office and challenge Republicans on the ballot. So that is where Senator Oliver is spending all of her free time. I started an initiative 2 years ago called Upstream to help people run for office and work on campaigns. That's where you'll find me these days. Lastly, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, all the things. You will see that I show up for my district at Senator Charlene Oliver on all platforms. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out here. I was just telling Rep. Hakeem a minute ago, this is a great turnout. And anytime we get this many folks in the room, that means that folks are involved. I will tell you that here I have some business cards for anyone who wants them. I am available. But I also say this, and please don't take it personal. If we don't respond right then, please don't take it personal. There's a lot that we do. Just hit us back again. just hit us back again. We're there. We're here for you. So I would say give us an opportunity to be there for you, but please don't take it personal if we don't get back the first time. All right, thank you.
Thank you, and I'd like to echo that. This is great turnout, and to the young lady from UTC, I know Will Bowen was probably with you. He's out of UT Knoxville, does a great job, a young up-and-coming Democrat in the district. So, and the gentleman in the hat, he talked about succession planning. I'm trying desperately to build a succession plan. It's hard for a young man to be in Nashville from Monday through Thursday about 1 o'clock every week from January through end of April. So it takes a certain kind of career and skill set to do. But again, I'll say, you know, trying to get folks involved and engaged of all ages, but especially our youth. But I just encourage folks to, as Rep. Glenn said, if it doesn't work the first time, don't throw stones. Don't just come back again. You know how many times if you give the Bible verse 70 times 7. If we care about our communities, we'll keep coming back. And this was a great event. So thank you to the Representative Hakeem, folks at Bessie Smith. I really appreciate this.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you all so much for taking time out of your schedules to come out and be with us. At this point, if you would, please, let's give a hand to each other. I feel you have spoken from the heart. You have shared with us things that we need to know and we will be working on. And I look forward to working with you going in the future. The chairman is going to close us out, but we need to end on a positive note, but when somebody tries to throw you under the bus, maybe you just have to speak to it. Now, a person got up here and said she's in my district. That's not the case. I beat her in every precinct in the last election. So if persons want to throw stones, let them throw stones. But ladies and gentlemen, I beat them that time, and God willing, I'll beat them again. Thank you. All right, so Mr. Chairman, if you would close. And I would mention we do have two pastors, Pastor Ernest Reed, Second Missionary Baptist Church, and Pastor Ron Harris of, I forgot your church, man. Mount Perrin Baptist Church. And we do have Councilman Ron Elliott and Jenny Burrs in the audience.
All right, everybody. First off, let me say thank you all for taking time out of your schedules to be with us on this afternoon. The dialogue was important. As it was said earlier, there will be some fruit that comes from these conversations. There will be bills drafted because of the conversations that we've had today. But let me give a couple of announcements. On November 8th, I want you all to put that on your schedule. We are scheduling our second Black Caucus Summit. It's going to be a one-day event. We're going to have it in Nashville, and we're going to not only give information about civic involvement and the civic process, but also put together a plan that we can go forward with. So on November 8th, so make sure that you scan the QR code so you can be a part of that, as well as our newsletter. We do have a newsletter that's been going out. So so make sure that you scan the QR code so that you all can be involved in what we're doing. Also, I want to encourage you all to follow us on social media as well. Tennessee Black Caucus of State Legislators. We're on all of your social media, so seek us out so you can see what we're doing. And before I say my last words, I want to get our staff in the middle aisle right here. So, Ms. Tracy, that means you. Ms. Marissa, Ms. Allison. You all, while they're coming, let me say this. There's a lot of things that we get credit for that they execute. So many times there are problems and issues that come to our desk that we don't know what to do. But our staff, they get those things done. So our staff, they took time after work today, y'all. So they came here after work to come with us across the state, to be with us to help serve you all better. So Ms. Tracy, Ms. Marissa, Ms. Allison, we are forever thankful for the work that you all do. All right. So with that, I'm glad to be here with you all. Again, I'm State Representative Jesse Chisholm. I get the chance to be the chairman of the Tennessee Black Caucus of State Legislators. And I just want to leave you all with a quote from one of my favorite people, one of my favorites in the whole wide world, Mr. Benjamin Elijah Mays said, not achieving your goals is not a calamity, but not having goals to achieve, that's the true darkness. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure whatever you do it so well that no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born could ever do it any better. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. And we are, hold on, we started and we want to end with prayer. So we want one of our pastors to come up and give us a prayer. Yeah, Pastor Reed.
Can we stand? Let us pray. Gracious eternal God, for our gathering this evening, for the grace that you have extended to us throughout this day, we say thank you. And although, Lord, we are not perfect individuals, we do know that we serve a perfect God. So, Father, we pray that even as we leave from this place, that you will bless our efforts and crown our labor with success, that when people look at us, that they will see you working in us and through us for your honor and glory. Help us, O Lord. These and all things we pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now adjourned.